C1music.f in the familiar. It's your boy Deuce. We're definitely in the building all day, every day. We had a little bit of technical difficulties before getting on the show, so I definitely apologize for that. If you was tuned in early and then for some reason got shut out, that is definitely my apologies. But we on here. I got the team in here, and we are going to get started with the show. It is July 15th, and looking to have a good show tonight. Today's topic is called My Mans and Them, and I'll explain that to you if you never heard of that before. But yeah, we should have some fun tonight. I'm looking to have some fun. Again, C1music.f in the familiar. Let's get it started like we usually do. For everybody that does not live in the U.S., like I said, this week it was a little bit hysterical with the Trayvon Martin case. We may talk briefly about that. But in the meantime, I want to get it popping and get the show started. We ran a little late. We had some technical difficulties. I had to redo the show. But we on here. We back in full effect. Let's get it popping. C1 Music style. Alright, Deli I from Erica Combo. C1music.f in the familiar. Let's get it.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1music.fm. Familiar.
Admit, without you, Lord.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm. Unfamiliar.
I feel so dirty. I feel so dumb. I fell for temptation. Lord, what have I done? I never meant for this to get so out of hand. But he lied to me, and he told me that you'd never understand. But it was never in my plan to become the liar, become the cheater, become the murderer. I know you heard of her. Become the dealer, become the user, become the hater, become the abuser. And after all of my failure and my sinning, Jesus still wants to save me and live in me. So if Jesus can, then why can't you forgive me? Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. I was so guilty, now I'm repenting. Lord, will you fill me? I'll go where you send me. I was so lonely, he was so kind. He said that he loved me. How could I deny?
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.FM.
Put your top down. Oh. Put your top down. And if you at the show, put your hands up. Oh. Oh. Put your hands up. Today is a good day. Feel so alive in a new way. Breathe life from my dry bones. Pump red blood in my blue veins. Living out of my suitcase. Now I know I'm in a new way. Heard about him in HD, but now I see him in Blu-ray. Yeah, drinking from the living well. Never said I'm rich, but I'm living well. Yeah, cause I got that thirst and I got that bread. That's life with the dinner bell. Yeah, tell him welcome to the good life. Couple days, lot of good nights. Off death row, shook night. Future, look right.
He can do it for you. If he did it for one, he can do it for two. You can take a word 'cause I've been there. I'll tell you the truth. If he did it for me, he can do it for you. Know that he can do it for you.
Tell him welcome to the high life. God doing big things when he's sky right. If you want to see his highlights, just take a look into my life. Yeah, I'm a walking miracle. Trying to go where the spirit go. Got a brand new suit and a fresh black tie. Say, welcome to my burial. Like to tell all my supporters hi. You part of the reason that I'm mortified. And you part of the reason that I'm fortified. That I smile when I look into my daughter's eyes. Keep praying that I choose life. Cause I can make a mess like a food fight. But he can turn death into new life. That's why me and Deuce like.
He can do it for you. If you did it for one,
If you did it for one,
he can do it for two.
yeah,
You can take my word 'cause I've been there.
I've been there.
I'll tell you the truth.
Tell you the truth.
If he did it for me,
No respect to
he
persons.
can do it for you.
Oh,
If he did it for me,
if you did it for me,
he can do it for you.
he can do it for you.
If you did it for one,
If you did it for one,
he can do it for two.
yeah,
You can take my word 'cause I've been there.
I've been there, y'all.
I'll tell you the truth.
But he can make you alive
If he did it for me,
again.
he can do it for you.
Oh,
Know that he can do it for you.
Jesus loved you so much, and he's no respect in persons. If he set me free and made me alive, he can do the same for you. Hey, I'm just here to tell you, if he did it for me, he can do it for you. Oh.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.FM.
Yeah, it's your boy Deuce. We're definitely in the building. C1Music.FM, The Familiar, all day, every day. That's how we do. Yo, it's July 15th. I got my panel in the building with me. Mary, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good. Hello, everyone.
All right, who else we got on the line with
Hi,
you?
good evening. Grace from Philippines.
Who else on the line with you? Just Grace?
Yes, Grace. Yeah, already
Hey,
here
Grace,
now.
how you doing? How you doing, Grace? Is
I'm
Tito
having a bit of...
is Tito on the line with you guys?
Hello, Tito, are you there? No, Tito is offline.
All right. I know we got Lovely. What's going on, Lovely?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
All right. And Grace, did the other guy add you to Skype?
Yes, we already have a news from Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, yeah.
What is your name?
Hey, are you there? From Sri Lanka?
Yes,
Yeah,
we're here.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah. Good.
What's your-
Everything is good.
Good. Can you tell us your name?
Alright. You can call me Dulanka. Dulanka. Is that remember?
Dinaka?
What is your name?
Sorry.
I'm sorry. What is your name?
Okay.
Oh, Tito is here now.
Dulanka. Yeah, Mary, you can call me Dulanka.
Okay.
Dulanka.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
cool. And we got Tito in the building.
Yeah.
Tito, my man, what's good?
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. What's going on?
Nah, we ain't here, man. We just getting the show started.
Okay.
As everybody know, we are live on the YouVersion network. Definitely type in c1music.fm to answer the questions. We also live on there on the Spreaker network. We're broadcasting live. 805-399-1200 is the telephone number for the show. Definitely give us a call. The passcode is 105-431#. You definitely can get on a call. We also can be reached on Skype. Free conference call HD dot 805 805-399-1200. And then you can add that as a friend and put the participant code 105-431#. Everything is mobile. And you can find everything by looking up c1music.fm on your applications. All right. Dig, just out of curiosity, being that everybody's from different areas, have any of you heard of the Trayvon Martin case
No.
in your respective countries?
Of what? I'm sorry.
Have y'all heard of the Trayvon Martin case?
No.
All right, Trayvon got shot by a police officer. Not a police officer. I don't even know if he was a police officer. But he got shot by somebody who was he was wearing a hoodie, and he got shot by I forgot what I wasn't really following the case like everybody else was. And my particular reason for it was that this stuff happens all the time, and I didn't really understand why everybody picked this particular case to blow it up. When all the other people don't get that extra publicity. However, the country took liking to this Trayvon Martin situation, and it happened in Florida. And the guy who ended up shooting Trayvon Martin, he went to trial, and he went to trial for murder, and he actually beat the case. And so people here, especially in the black community, black and Hispanic communities are upset, and pretty much my man, he will be living in protective custody for a while. It's one of those type of situations where people in America are very, very upset, especially the black and Hispanic community, over what took place this weekend and the judge letting the guy off the hook for shooting him. However, if you guys haven't heard of it, it wouldn't be wise for me to talk about that with you guys because of that. So if I do have any callers who want to call in and talk about that briefly, we definitely can. Again, the number is 805-399-1200. I will be more than happy to speak about the Trayvon Martin situation. With that being said, we are going to go into the topic tonight. It is called My Mans and Them. And I am going to ask. Let me give you an understanding of what My Mans and Them mean. The reason why I named it My Mans and Them. Usually, where I come from in my neck of the woods, when you talk about your friends, especially, and this is amongst guys, so this statement is made amongst guys. So I don't know if people understood the title or not. But usually, let's say if I was talking to Mary about Tito, and Mary was making a statement about Tito, I would say, as she was talking to Tito, like, hey, do you know Tito? I would say, yeah, that's my man. That's my dude. Like, that's my guy. All right? Do you understand that? That is the lingo or the slang. So when somebody was talking about somebody you know, like, yeah, that's my man. That's my guy. If they talk about 2 or 3 or 4 people that you know all at the same time, then you would say, that's my man's in them. Meaning that those group of guys that you're talking about, those are my friends. So it's just an expression that we use here on my side of town. My man's in them. All right? So I'm trying to explain that to you guys so y'all can understand that. So the first title of this section in our group heading on YouVersion is That's My Guy. I'm going to come with you first, Tito, because you are a guy, and we're going to ask this question since you're my guy, that's my guy, that's my dude. I'm going to ask you that question. So, have you ever been in a situation where even though you were angry at someone who did you wrong, you still had told them, you still had to hold them down, no matter what? Meaning that when you was angry at somebody for doing something, there was still a situation where they came to you and asked you either for money or for anything of that matter, just anything for help. And even though you was mad, despite the fact that you mad, you still went out your way to help that person out. Have you ever been in that situation?
It's very uncommon. It's not very common. But I guess so. Yeah.
All right. Can you give us an example of a common or uncommon situation that occurred?
Yeah, it was a few years ago, and she was a lady, and she's a good friend of mine, and she I think she had no idea that I was mad at her. I think some comments she made, and I didn't take too kindly to them, but when she always asked for a favor, I always came through for her. I mean, no matter what, even if I was free, I always came through. And she made me angry quite a few times. Yeah.
So you always came through. Why were you mad at her?
It's mostly comments that she made. It was like she was, how can I say this? She was not insensitive. She was oblivious to how hurtful her words were. Maybe it was her phrasing, maybe the way she grew up. I don't know, no idea. But I never told her, hey, you can't talk like that, you can't speak like that. I just always kept quiet, even though I was fuming that most times. She called me up. It was like nothing happened, and I'd wait the situation out and say, okay, maybe I don't need to cause any trouble for this. Just go ahead and come through for her.
All right.
I was probably not being specific, but it's a long time back. So.
All right, lovely. What about you? Have you ever been in a situation where even though you were angry at someone who did you wrong, you still had to hold them down no matter what?
Yeah.
All right, can you explain?
Best friend? No. Okay. I have a best friend who is a guy. And
all right, lovely.
Lovely,
I can't hear you that well for some reason. Can you speak up a little bit?
Okay. I get a girl, best friend. He's a guy. And yeah, we are so close, like brother and sister.
All right, hold on, lovely. Lovely, I don't know. Guys, can y'all hear her clearly, or is it just me?
Lovely is breaking.
No, it's not clear.
Lovely, you're breaking up. You might want to hang up and join Mary and them. For some reason, I don't know if your connection is not good. All right, so while Lovely is fixing her mic situation, Mary, I want to come to Grace.
Okay.
Gracie, I'm asking you, Gracie, have you ever been in a situation where even though you were angry at someone who did you wrong, you still had to hold them down no matter what?
Yeah, I just experienced very currently. All right, so the work that I am into, the Compassion International, I'm a newly appointed project director. So there was kind of the one of the staff also applied for the post was not the one picked up. So she had this different feeling about me, ill feeling, I guess. So she didn't teach me how to do about with the works to be done in the church, in the office. And even if it was already our deadline to submit all the required paperwork, and she wouldn't help me out with it, and the rest of the staff doesn't have any idea as well. So only that girl has the access, has the knowledge. I was kind of pissed off already because what is at stake is the whole church, the project itself, and the children that's with our center. So, but still, even if I was already having this different feeling about her for treating me that way, I still have to be civil with her and eventually learn to forgive her if ever she has something, a feeling that's different towards me.
I see.
It's really hard. It's really hard, but you know, those are the struggles that we have to deal with coworkers. You know.
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that.
I understand. Hey, lovely.
Yeah.
All right, you want to tell us your story now?
Okay. So I got a best friend, like we are so close.
Ah, lovely. You still breaking up, lovely?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you join the call with Mary so that we can get you going right.
Lovely, I was trying to call you and add you into group.
Just drag her name on Skype. You'll be able to do that. Drag her name into your in your group. All right. As we wait for Lovely to get back in the call. I'm sorry that her mic is not working. Let me ask my newcomer, Tanaka. Did I say it right, Tanaka?
Yeah, yes, okay.
Did I say it right?
Dulanka, okay.
Tanaka.
Dulanka, okay. Dulank.
Daneka.
Yeah.
I got you, Daneka. All right, Daneka. Have you ever been in a situation where even though you were angry at someone who did you wrong, you still had to hold them down no matter what?
Yeah, many times.
All right, can you explain it to us?
Yep. Really. Now I am a Christian, but before that, I had many experience with that kind of thing. I do know about forgiveness and mercy, like that, the cool word. So with friends, with my girlfriend and my parents, I have the many disaster period. So I will tell. I tell the one particular thing with my life. So really, when introduced God, Jesus, and God's kingdom, really being produced. So I'm really embarrassed with that kind of thing. But why she introduced me to like that kind of religion, like that. So really we had a very bad discussion. I scolded her, and but at the end I got Jesus Christ from her. So this, I mean, now I haven't like that situation, but some small time when I saw some man or some boy or my friend, but he do something wrong to God, and so that time I'm really embarrassed, really I am hot. But I know that when anyone who see God love, he can't do any bad things and he can't be hot. But the thing is, when we are in that wisdom, when we are that good hot situation, we couldn't understand that thing. Anyway, try to understand.
All right. Yeah, we here. I understand that. All right. Lovely, are you back?
Yes.
Good. Now you sound much better, Lovely. You sound so much better.
Good.
All right, Lovely. So
Okay.
let me ask you this question, Lovely. As we're gonna move on to the next section, for time permits. So I'm gonna come to you with this question first. Who are this section is called "The Whole Truth and Nothing But It"? Who are more likely to stand up? I don't know how this question is. Who are more likely to stand up for you despite bitterness towards them? Stand up for you despite their bitterness towards your bitterness towards them. Is it husbands, wives, dating partners? Is it fathers, mothers, or grandparents? Is it brother, sister, cousin, or the best friend? Actually, I'm sorry. The question is, who are you more likely to stand up for despite your bitterness towards them? That's the question. Who are you more likely to stand up for despite you being upset at them? Husband, wife, dating partner?
My family.
Hold on. It's the husband, wife, or dating partner. It's the first answer. Second answer would be father, mother, or grandparent. The third one would be brother, sister, or cousin. And the fourth answer is best friend. Which answer would you go with first?
Father and mother.
You would pick father and mother over your husband? You would forgive you would stand up for your parents before you stand up for your husband?
No, because family first. So
Isn't
blood
your husband your family?
And water. Yeah, he's part of family, but in my case, I am single, and I prefer father and mother.
All right. Let's go to Mary then. Mary, who are you more likely to stand up for despite your bitterness towards them? Your husband and wife or dating partner? That's the first answer. Second answer would be father, mother, or grandparent. Third answer would be brother, sister, or cousin. And fourth would be best friend. Who are you more likely to stand up for?
I stand for my father, mother, and grandparents because.
Wow.
Yes.
Over your husband?
Yes, because.
Come on.
I owe a lot.
We're gonna have to do a study on husband and wives then, huh?
Yeah.
You take vows. You take vows for your husband, and wife to come first, no matter who.
But I love my parents.
You don't love your husband?
I love my husband,
but you love your parents.
I owe a lot my parents. So I.
But hold on, you love your parents.
Really tough question. Yes.
You love your parents more than your husband?
Yes.
Man.
Because one of the reasons they bring me to this world, so I really love my parents.
That's not the right answer. That is truly not the right answer. Lovely can answer the question that way. Mary, wow. Seriously. All right, Tito. Tito still online with us? All right, Tito's not online with us. Grace, what about you, Grace?
Tito is now here.
Okay.
Tito, you
So
online,
for
Tito?
me,
Is Tito online with us?
Yes,
Yeah.
trying to connect Tito in the group.
Tito? All right, we're going to go to Grace.
Tito's online.
Grace,
All right.
what,
So with my
what are you more
case,
likely to stand up for despite your bitterness towards them? Husband and wife or dating partner? Father, mother, or grandparent? Brother, sister, cousin, or best friend?
children not included.
Children not
If the
Which one are you going to pick, Grace? Grace, which one are you going to pick?
yes,
Which one, which one would you pick?
I would stand up for my parents first and foremost.
Over your
Considering
husband?
my situation, I am already separated with my husband, though not legally yet. I would stand up always for my parents for one. Like what has Mary stated earlier, that because of them we are here. And then there's no doubt with the experience that I had regarding my marriage, they were the one who were with me all the way. They give me all the support. I would really stand up for them. The next, my children, of course, and then friends.
All right, do you plan to ever get married again?
Hard question. Next question, please. Actually, well, if given the chance, why not? I mean, I deserve to be happy. We all are.
What man would want to get married if you're not going to put him first above anybody else? Only person that should come before him is God.
No, because it depends on the situation. With my case, I don't know. We had many irreconcilable differences. That's why. But like I've been telling my husband,
if you just didn't marry the right guy. If you married the right guy, you wouldn't have any problems like that.
That's right. Well, of course, I will always stand up for him. The reason that we became one because I love him, so definitely. But if your guy is not there, but if your guy doesn't stand up for you, is there any reason for you to stand up for him as well?
No.
That's what you take on vows. I don't know. Hey, Tito.
Yeah.
The whole truth and nothing but it. Who are you more likely to stand up for despite your bitterness towards them? Your husband, wife, or dating partner. That's one. Your father, mother, or grandparent. That's two. Brother, sister, or cousin. That's three. Best friend. That's four.
I'd go with wife.
My man.
Wow.
You have
My
to.
man.
My man. You have to answer that way.
Let me
explain it. Explain it.
Okay.
Let me explain it. It's the only relationship that you have a chance to nurture. I mean, it don't get any better than your wife or your dating partner. The people you already have in your life, I mean, you could do whatever, but you cannot mess up with this new one because they're going to define you. They're going to decide whether you're going to be happy or unhappy. They could easily mess up your life. I mean, you've got to know where your jewel lies. I mean, they got to come first. No?
Wow.
My man dropped the jewel on Tito. My man.
Yeah, man.
That's all the ladies going to say to you, my man. Let's ask Danaka.
Yeah.
Who are you more likely to stand up for despite your bitterness towards them? Your husband, wife, or dating partner? Your father, mother, or grandparent? Brother, sister, or cousin? Or best friend? Which one?
In the first place, I have to give for my wife. Then second to my parents.
First one would be your wife, right?
Yes. And the second to my parents.
Second to your parents. But first one becomes your wife, right?
Yes.
See, I think you ladies are answering this emotionally and not really answering
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Y'all got to answer this biblically. Because biblically, you have to say your spouse. Biblically, in my opinion, I mean, that's what the Bible says. Even before, I didn't put children on here because even before children, your husband or your spouse or your wife comes first. Ladies.
What about honor their father and their mother?
Honoring them doesn't mean you got to take care of them. I believe we come from two different cultures, so that's probably the reason why. But I would say this: I would say, husband and wife first, then parents and children. I mean, no, husband and wife first, then children, then parents.
Mm-hmm.
And
That
to
should be
me,
the proper order.
and to me, in some cases, I would throw my best friend in there before I would. In certain cases, I would throw my best friend in there before father and mother.
Why?
The reason why I would put best friend, technically, your wife or your spouse should be your best friend. So we're going to argue that all day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. However, I believe that your best friend is the only person that will know you, that will know the real you. Your best friend is the person that you want to go through and do your dirt with and get in trouble with and get out of trouble with. And your best friend is going to be the person that you share your most secrets with, you know? That's the person that you're going to really tell the truth to. Your parents, you're not going to tell everything about to your parents. And therefore, you're only going to tell them what you want to tell them. They're only going to know what you want, what they need. Your parents only going to know what they need to know. So it's not like they really know you like your best friend knows you. Am I correct? Tito, am I lying?
Yeah.
No, you're not, man. I mean, we're always afraid of disappointing our relatives, our parents, our sisters, brothers, and cousins. So they don't know the down and dirty about us. But
Right.
our best friends, our homeboys, they kind of know the stuff, the stuff that really counts about your life, and they're the people you gotta, back up when things get tough.
Right. And therefore, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you gotta have a situation. You might have a situation where you and your best friend have an understanding. Like, listen, if it go down, I got you. You got me. You're not gonna have those type of conversations with your parents and all that stuff. With your parents, it's like a given. You expect to have it. You know, you don't have to have that bond. You expect your parents would expect you to do certain things for them, and you would just expect for you to do certain things for your parents. However, with your spouse, that's the law. It's the law. It's the law of the land. That's the law. It's the law of the good book. Think about this. Think about this, ladies. Before there was parents, there was husband and wife. God established husband and wife before He established parents.
All right, yeah.
Hey, but what do the cultures say? I mean, they're subjective in this matter. I mean, it could be very influential. I mean, in some cultures, correct. Your parents are everything. They're everything.
That's
100%.
Right.
I mean, you when your father says something, your husband cannot step in there.
Hey,
I don't know if I'm.
Hey, Tito.
Yeah.
I learned this.
Yeah, man.
I learned this not too long ago. All right.
Yeah.
I learned this not too long ago. I had to learn this. All right. And I'm saying this from everybody, from my man in Sri Lanka to you in Kenya, to me in America, to them in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that before I am black, before there's white, before there's Indian, Filipino, Sri Lankan, whatever it is, once you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you're Christian above everything else. Am I correct?
Yeah, you are.
Alright,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
from that point going forward, it doesn't matter what culture you are. It doesn't matter. If you believe in that book and what the Word of God says and the laws that it establishes, because it establishes the laws despite the culture.
That's right.
So if you believe that book and you're Christian first, then it doesn't matter. And now you got to go with the good book says. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you agree with me or not?
It's agreeable.
Yes. That's right. Because the laws of the land are just made by people, but the laws of the Holy Bible, it's written by inspired people by God. Right.
Right.
So you are correct.
You understand? You agree?
Yeah. Totally agree.
Yeah, we are Jesus.
Right. So before there's any other cultures, Tanaka is my brother in the Lord. Before we consider each other being racist, different races, or anything else, he's a Christian. I'm a Christian. That goes above anything else. Same thing with you. Same thing with Mary. Before Mary is Filipino and I'm American, we're both Christian. That's my sister.
That's
in the Lord.
Yeah, that's correct.
So it doesn't matter the culture, man. To me, it doesn't matter. You understand what I'm saying, yeah? Hey, listen. Before I forget, somebody asked me to give him a shout out, so I'm going to give him a shout out, a special shout out. I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Ati Viv from the Philippines, Ati Viv in France from the Philippines. I want to give them a shout out on C1Music.FM. From me to y'all, from Deuce to y'all, want to give y'all a shout out. And hopefully y'all listening, got a chance to listen in. Yeah, I wanted to give y'all a shout out. You know what I mean? And while we're about to break to go to a song, I want everybody to go to 2 Samuel chapter 1. And we're going to dive into this scripture, the title of this whole show, My Mans and Them. All right, 2 Samuel chapter 1. That's where we're going with this. And I'm going to play some music. I just wanted to make sure I give my shout out to the young ladies who are listening and showing some support to your boy Deuce and C1 Music. I appreciate y'all. All right. I also want to give a shout out. I don't know if she's listening right now too, but I know she told me that she heard the show the other day. I also want to give a shout out to one of my other employees, Vicky. Victoria. Giving you a shout out as well for listening to the show. I definitely appreciate you. And, shout out to my church. My church at home was definitely a couple of my church members was listening in. Faith Christian Outreach Center. I want to give a shout out to them. Let's get into some good music real quick and get it popping. C1 Music style. Again, for everybody, we are turning to 2 Samuel chapter 1. I'm going to be reading from the ESV version. Definitely find it, and we'll be back after these quick music breaks. C1Music.FM, the family. Holla at your boy.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.FM. Unfamiliar.
Yeah, she said an ambiance cool as an ocean. Now she's an island in my sea of devotion. What a hostess, good food every time when I come through. See, she's the dopest. The sun goes down, she gets soaking and lights up the sky whenever she posing. And she can sing like an opus. Gorgeous, she's a good look, focus. Hey, but if you focus on her though, you can get lost in the smoke that she gonna blow and fill up on her white lies. I seen her kill many dreams in my lifetime, but tonight I'm still loving her regardless. The city is my home, you know home is where the heart is. Cause she used to be a foreigner, now I pray for my lady Miss Sweet South Florida. It's nighttime in the city, feels like the right time.
shine in the nighttime, 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 shine in the nighttime.
Clock strikes 12. City lights beaming, the night's still young, but everybody leaving. Beef on the streets, they thirst, they feed. Where the sun touched down, moonshine, perfect evening. We amongst the stars, but no one's really real. Cats feeling themselves like they popping next pills. I've been through it all, seen a lot of faces, change like the season's identity keep erasing. Chicks done moved on, turn into gold diggers. Smile on their face, no love, empty ring fingers. This the type of life we get hyped up and we fight for. Wanting to be heard, they don't know what else to fight for. Gazing at my city, pretty but the lives torn. Only God can save us, so I'm waiting on his encore. Skies ripped back, the glory fills the air like a city on a hill. No doubt, we standing right there.
It's nighttime in the city. Feels like the right time in the city. No rules, just people on the move. So gotta let the light shine in the city. It's nighttime in the city. Feels like the right time in the city. Never slow, just people on the go. But gotta let the light shine in the city. Shine in the nighttime, 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 shine in the night. Dark streets and the cars racing. Yeah, the city's alive and heartbreaking. Feel it when the day turns to night. Feel it in the wind. Feel it in the cold when the park's vacant. Crooked streets, no carnations. Yet a beautiful mess with plenty to partake in. And out there they call it people watch, but in my city we call it stargazing. Witness firsthand the starvation. Hearts cold like on the brink of tarnation. Steady small talk in the bars pacing till we roll up in the spot like Dalmatians. With plenty stories to tell and the word that compels us our night, and I feel amazing. City lights in my view and there's so much to do. It's our night and our invasion. It's nighttime in the city. Feels like the right time in the city. No rules, just people on the move. So gotta let the light shine in the city. It's nighttime in the city. Feels like the right time in the city. Never slow, just people on the go. But gotta let the light shine in the city. We shine in the nighttime. 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 We shine in the night.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.FM. Unfamiliar.
One broken heart.
Yeah, this one's gonna hit home. If you've had your heart broken, just know there's some artists out there who can relate. We're gonna share our own stories so we can work towards healing. Cause at the end of it all, life and love is all we had.
Yo, sometimes I feel like a fatherless child, but I never lived a day without my father. You were there on the day I was born. I was the first one there on the day you were gone. And I can't hug a hologram, I can't shake hands with a shadow. I can't call memories up on the phone like hello. Nobody's there, I can't hear your voice, but I refuse to feel sorry for myself. I'm blessed to be here. It's been over a year since I stood up at your funeral and spoke without shedding any tears. God knows I miss you, I don't gotta hit rock bottom and look solemn. Trust me, you'll never be forgotten. I push on in your honor, make songs in your honor. There were times I didn't get along with my father. I thank God we were reconciled. That's why I'm able to say this with a smile. And we weep with those who weep, and rejoice with those who rejoice. We cry with those who cry, but through it all we thank God that we're alive. Yeah.
K-Love too. What up, Damon? I say A because
cause I love you. Big mama ain't Janice, ain't Gully, don't panic. Because without y'all, then I wouldn't understand it. See, the island is the view, but I am not stranded. I never needed Wilson, I erect buildings. My mission in life is not finding forever. Forever's only ever till never. Again, getting down, but I know I'm getting better. Again, cause I still feel your spirit in the weather, in the wind, in the rain, in the snow, the sleet, in the cold, in the streets where I go. I reap what I sow and teach what I know. Still reach for the goal so sweet that your teeth could explode. So I'll be giving anything and everything you showed. Even though it broke my heart, you still broke the mold.
Yeah, I love y'all. You gotta know, man, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. So hold everything that you cherish dear to you, man, cause one day it could be gone. Hey, you know, nobody wants to be broken hearted.
Reminisce about them days we talked the conversation piece. That's love to a fault, son. You're never to be bought. Just trust in the Lord. I think I had my mind still trapped in New York. Taught to be humble, but this man once stumbled. See, losing you, mom, my whole pie just crumbled. Mumbling for days, trying to drink this pain away. It's liquor in my liver, kid. Time to pull the trigger, kid, on some tired of living. But God said no, it's not time to go. It's still plenty room to grow. Mama's baby boy, word life, I really miss ya. So wipe away the tears, kid, and hand me the tissue. Heaven sent, one day I'ma be with ya. Rolling down them skies, cloud nine, and I'ma get ya. Hands and hold ya tight, the big picture. This life goes on, but yo, I still can't forget ya.
We say it so many times, rest in peace. With the time we got left, we're gonna live in peace. Honor those who went before us, and honor the God who blessed us with life and love. Cause when it's all said and done, that's all we have.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.FM.
Yeah, it's your boy Deuce. We're definitely back in the building. C1Music.FM, The Familiar. All day, every day. You know how we do. And we are definitely blasting off with the topic tonight, my mans and them. I explained what my mans and them mean. We are going to get into the scripture reading of tonight, which is 2 Samuel chapter 1. We're highlighting verse 13 through 16, but I am going to start at verse 1 and paint my picture as I usually do. And to start our conversation, pretty much that's how we're going to do it for tonight and get right with the question that in the conversation that sparks off of this particular Bible scripture. If you want to join us, we are live 805-399-1200 for the live conference call. We are on Skype at Free Conference Call HD .805-399-1200. The passcode for both phone calls is 105-431#. We are also, just out of curiosity for everybody who is listening internationally in other places like Brazil, we are 5511239-1-1226. And then the passcode in Japan, we're 81-035-050-5056. And you can definitely press the 105-431# as participant code. We're in South Korea, 82 070-791-76522. Malaysia, same thing. 60-011-1146-022. And again, for both of those, Malaysian Korea is 105-431 pound. Last but not least, also internationally, we have a phone number for Mexico, which is 52-0899-274-7025. And then the participant code is 105-431 pound, just to get that out the way. Those are my international numbers for those countries if you would like to call. For everybody else, again, we are on Skype. We are on the YouVersion Network, and let's get to our topic, chapter at hand, 2 Samuel chapter 1. Do anybody know what's going on here in this particular chapter of reading? What happened prior to? Do anybody have an idea of anything? If not, I would be more than happy just to share what's going on here. Did anybody get a chance to read this prior to?
Well, I'm pretty familiar with the story. I mean,
you said you're pretty familiar with the story, right?
Yeah.
Right. So up until this point in time, there was a war going on, and David had to pick a side. He tried to fight with help the Philistines against Saul at this particular point in time, but he got rejected. He went to Ziklag. Ziklag was in ruins. That's where his family and everything was. His friends and stuff turned on him. He got upset as they were complaining about him being their leader and following him. He went and they destroyed the people who destroyed Ziklag and took everything back. Now he's in Ziklag for a couple of days and trying to find out what happened with the rest of Saul and his people, the Israelites. And this is where we pretty much somewhat coming to the conclusion of. Alrighty? So, okay. I am going to read 2 Samuel chapter 1, and let's see how it starts off. It says, after David of Saul. Now, I'm reading from the ESV version, y'all, just to let y'all know. So try to follow along if you're reading a different version. I do read from the ESV, and this is what it says. After the death of Saul, when David had returned from striking down the Amalekites, David remained 2 days in Ziklag. On the third day, behold, a man came from Saul's camp with his clothes torn and dirt on his head. And when he came to David, he fell to the ground and paid homage. Alright, so just to recap real quick, we have a guy, David is in Ziklag, pretty much getting ready to leave Ziklag, and a man from out of nowhere, clothes all dirty and torn and looking crazy, he comes to David, sees David, he sees David, comes up to David, throws himself to the ground and pay homage to David. Y'all got that so far?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So, verse 3, David said to them, where do you come from? And he said to him, I have escaped from the camp of Israel. Verse 4, and David said to him, how did it go? Now, I want to stop right there. This guy knows who David is. So he knows David is like part of the Israelites, right? But what was that? Alright. So we know this guy knows who David is. He knows all about David. He comes to David, he pays homage to him. Yet still he's about to have this conversation with David. So obviously this guy feels comfortable enough to have this conversation with David. Do y'all agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Alright, so he's having this conversation with David. He says to him, in verse 4, he says, and David said to him, how did it go? Tell me. And he answered, the people fled from the battle, and also many of the people have fallen, are dead. And Saul and his son Jonathan are also dead. So at this particular point in time, David is trying to find out what's going on, what happened to Saul and Jonathan, his best friend. Right? And so this guy is saying that Jonathan and Saul are both dead. So this is intriguing to David, because David is just not finding out. Okay, my best friend is dead. Saul, the king, is dead. How did it happen? I mean, if you, Mary, if you got this information about somebody that you respected, you would want to know what happened, right?
Yes, correct.
Right. So David is doing a normal thing right now, and he's saying, "How did it happen? What happened?" So verse 5, then David said to the young man who told him, "How do you know that Saul and his son Jonathan are dead?" Verse 6, and the young man who told him said, "By chance I happened to be on the Mount Gilboa, and there was Saul leaning on his spear, and behold, the chariots and the horsemen were close to him. And when he looked behind him, he saw me, and he called to me. And I answered, 'Here I am.' And he said to me, 'Who are you?' I answered him, 'I am an Amalekite.' And he said to me, 'Stand beside me and kill me. For anguish he sees, and yet my life still lingers.'" Now, I still want to go back to this guy who now knows who David is. He killed his best friend is dead. His king is dead, right? Now, I want to ask you guys. This guy feels a lot. He must feel real comfortable about. He feels real comfortable about telling David this information. Obviously, wouldn't y'all agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he doesn't think nothing's gonna happen. He's like, "Hey, it's David. He's cool. He wanted to fight with us against them. He's cool. So I'm gonna tell him what happened. I was on the battlefield. I got, first-hand experience." So now he's going into detail in verse 10 about how Saul fell and died. So verse 10 he says, "So I stood beside him and killed him, because I was sure that he could not live after he had fallen. And I took the crown that was on his head and the armlet that was on his arm, and I have brought them here to my Lord." Alright, so this guy is giving David, the crown and the armlet to give to David. So this guy is paying homage to David, thinking that he's doing a good thing. Telling David what happened on the battlefield. Would y'all agree up to so far? Would y'all agree?
Yes, sir.
The gentleman is thinking he's doing the right thing. He told David what happened. He brought him the crown.
Of course.
Brought him the armlet. He's like, "Yo, everything's good. Yo, Saul is done. He's dead. We cool. Everything's cool." Alright? Verse 11. Then David took hold of his clothes and tore them. And so did all the men who were with him. So now David takes his clothes off. He starts ripping his clothes off. So if I was this gentleman and I just told David this good news, and David just start tearing his clothes off, I gotta look at David and say, "Yo, bro, what you doing?" Like, what's going on here? Now, immediately, wisdom would have said, "Listen, he's not happy about this. I'm going to keep it moving. Yeah, I'm getting out of here." Right?
Yeah.
That's just the code of the streets. I'm out of here, man. This scene ain't a good scene for me, man. I done told him something good, and he's going hysterical. Not only he's going hysterical, all his boys is going hysterical too. Right? So we look at verse 12, and they mourned and wept and fasted until evening for Saul and Jonathan, and for Jonathan his son, and for the people of the Lord, and for the house of Israel, because they have fallen by the sword. So, this must have had to be during the daytime when this happened. He told them this conversation. And he's seen David go hysterical. Not only him, all his men, and they're crying. Now, I'm out of there. I see they going crazy, and they weeping and all that stuff, and they fasting and all that. Nah, it's not the same for me. I'm out. If I was that guy. Mm-hmm. Would y'all agree? Y'all ladies agree?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
What do you think, Lovely? You would have stayed around to find out what happens next? Lovely, you there? Alright, I guess Lovely's not there. Alright, so we stayed around to find out what's next. Nah, I'm not. So, with that being said, David has a conversation with him again. And David said to the young man who told him, "Where do you come from?" And he answered, "I am the son of a sojourner of an Amalekite." Now, I still feel like this guy feels like he's comfortable enough to tell David all this, even after the fact that he's seen him crying. So he must have thought it was normal. Everything's cool. Like, yeah, David, I'm here with you. I'm your boy. I'm telling you all this stuff. And so, verse 14, David said to him, "How is it you were not afraid to put out your hand to destroy the Lord's anointed?" So, he had to be caught off guard when he got asked that question. When David asked him that, "How is it you were not afraid to put out your hand to destroy the Lord's anointed?" Tito, how would you have answered that?
Hey. Okay, first of all, I wouldn't have been there. Second of all, had I been asked that, I would have tried to take off, because there was no way this was going to end well for me.
Right.
So there was no right answer to that question at all.
Well, I would have asked him for the same reason why you wanted to go to war with him. That's what he should have said. But I wouldn't have stayed around to find out that answer neither. Right? What would you would have said, Mary, if you would have got asked that question?
I probably am going to get an answer. Even all the people's crying, I would definitely go find the answer.
Go find the answer? What do you mean? I'm confused at what you mean. David asked him, how could you kill the Lord's anointed? Like, I would have said he asked me to. What do you mean, how?
I don't know how to answer them very, very tough questions.
But then again, what do you? I mean, if David's going to ask you that question, what do you think is going to happen next?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's when your streetwise got to come in. Mm-hmm. For everybody who live in them hostile environments, you get asked those type of questions. You got to know how to answer those questions, man. You got to know how to play your part. That's survival of the fittest right there. And my man fell miserably. Tanaka, how would you have answered that question?
Yeah, really. I have to tell. He asked and he requests. So that's why I given like that.
Right. I understand that he asked me a question, but at the end of the day, this is not going in the right direction. First off, you were supposed to, when I first told you the answer, you should have been happy that I brought you the crown and the armlet. You started crying. Like, oh, what's going on? I would have been looking like, oh, what's going on? My man, what's going on? What are you doing? You know? And so after I'm not crying, so what do you do? Stand around and watch them cry for half the day? They're crying, you over there, you brought the crown and the armlet. You thought you was doing something good. You give it to them. They start boo-hoo crying and they upset for half of the day. And so you sit around waiting. And then you get summoned by David to come see David again. David comes up to you and asks you, how could you do such a thing? I'm looking at all exits at this point. What do you mean? I'm looking around like, what do you mean? How can I do this such a thing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I look at this situation and I'm like, this is not a good look for my man. So then, verse 14, David said to him again, how is it you are not afraid to put out your hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? 15. While David asked the question, I could see him raising his hand up to one of his boys. So then David called one of the young men and said, go, execute him. And he struck him down so that he died. So, and David said to him in verse 16, and David said to him, your blood be on your head, for your own mouth has testified against you, saying, I have killed the Lord's anointed. So, and at the end, my man died. For in his eyes, doing the right thing. Grace.
Yeah, I have so many questions for this.
Grace, did he do the right thing, Grace?
Maybe, but I'm not very familiar with this, but I have already read this before, but not that thorough, okay? I think this guy is probably lying. Don't you think?
Nah, I believe he's telling the truth. I think he killed Saul. I think he killed Saul. I think Saul asked him to kill him and he did it with no problems. I don't think the Bible would put a lie in the Bible.
Okay. If I was in his place and then David would ask me, how could you kill a man that has been appointed by God? How could you kill Saul? If he isn't lying, like how we believe it is, he said he heard a voice, he was instructed to kill, so that's why he killed Saul. I would say the same thing.
But here's the thing. This is how you could have saved yourself from dying. When you when you told him, hey, I brought you the crown and the armlet, and he started boo-hoo crying, that should have been your sign to say, hey, that wasn't the right answer. I'm out of here, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Maybe, Aaron, maybe the man thought that David would be happy that he brought the news that King Saul has already been killed, because definitely automatic David will be the next king in throne, right?
Right.
Since Saul is already dead, but he didn't expect that David would be mourning, that he would be sad about the news that he has brought, and he didn't thought that he will be killed after that. He thought he was given a reward for sending the news.
I totally agree. But when he seen that David started crying, I mean, I don't know. Whose fault? Whose fault is this? Whose fault that he died? Is it his fault?
No.
Mary, is it his fault, Mary?
Probably yes.
Okay, why?
Because I don't know how to answer this one. I don't know if David was going to happy with my news or not, because because when I said to David that there's a news that David gets cried, so I don't know how to answer that.
All right, Tito.
Aaron?
Yes. Hold on, who's that? Grace?
Yes, Grace.
You have a question?
Yes, me. Okay. I forgot. Maybe later. Okay, let Tito first say something. I'll follow. I got lost.
Go ahead, Tito. Tito.
Yeah.
So tell me, Tito, is my man right or wrong? Did he actually do anything wrong in your eyes?
Probably not. He was more of an idiot than someone who did something wrong. I don't know whether him being an Amalekite changed David's opinion, because David asked him, "Where are you from?" and he said, "I'm the son of an Amalekite." And just prior to that, David was fighting and killing Amalekites. I don't know whether that influenced David's decision, besides the fact that he was upset that the king was dead and everything. But I think the guy was just an idiot, and maybe he didn't know that he was not supposed to kill someone who was a king. You know, kings supposed to be killed by kings or whatever.
But here's the thing. He said in verse 8, and he said to you, "Who are you?" And I answered him, "I am an Amalekite." So he said it proudly to David.
Did he know that David was at war with him?
I would say no.
Saying maybe this guy's lying.
I would think that I would say no. He didn't know. The reason why I would say no, he didn't know, because when David attacked the people, David only attacked the people who attacked his city. It wasn't everybody that attacked. It wasn't all of the Amalekites that attacked Ziklag and destroyed it. Took some of his family hostage. It was only a few. From my reading that I read, there's only a few. That few of the leaders in the Amalekite ranks that attacked, and so the main force was already ahead, ready to go and attack Saul. And so I don't know. I can't. I'm trying to put myself in David's shoes, and I'm also trying to put myself in this guy's shoes. Now, this is one of them things where David is mad at Saul. He's been mad at Saul, but David, throughout his whole story, said, "Listen, as much as I'm mad at you, Saul, I will not put a hand on you because you are the Lord's anointed." David had many chances to kill him, but the thing that's funny to me is that David also asked, "Can he go fight with the Amalekites?" and got rejected. He asked, "Can he go fight with the Amalekites?" and got rejected. So they sent him back to Ziklag. When they sent him back to Ziklag, that's when he found out that his family and everybody got taken. But initially, he wanted to fight with the Amalekites. If I'm not mistaken here, if I'm telling the story correctly. So when you see this going down, yeah. So in chapter 30, if you read chapter 30, you see that the Amalekites. Now, I don't know. Maybe I gotta look more into this. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to tell you any wrong information. All right. But yeah, in chapter 30, Ziklag, on the third day, Amalekites they raided Ziklag and burnt it with fire and took David wives and so on and so forth. All right. And so that was in 1 Samuel, chapter 30. That's what happened. Chapter 31 in 1 Samuel talks about how the Philistines went to Mount Gilboa and so on and so forth, and the war started. And Saul died.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you come here, and obviously my man is feeling like, well, he found out, he knew for a while that David wanted to come fight with him. David was staying with them, the Philistines, during that whole time. So it's not like he wasn't cool with David. He could have had conversations with David before. Israel turned on David and the people that was with him. So he could have had a good relationship with David. He had to feel comfortable enough to make the statement to David. So I want to ask, who's right and who's wrong here? Tito, who's right and who's wrong?
Hi. I think they're okay. I don't know. Do I get to answer both sides of the question? I mean, can I say they were both right but both wrong at the same time? Is that even possible?
I don't know. You tell me. Explain your answer.
I think this guy is just guilty of being stupid because he should have done a lot of things that he did. Maybe he was justified at each step of the way, but the decisions he made, I mean, I would have taken that crown and disappeared with it, or not spoken to David at all.
Why? Why? Tell me why.
Well, first of all, that was a gold crown. At least I suppose it was, and it's got to be worth something to Saul's enemies. I mean, and there was no clear indication that David was an enemy to Saul. Maybe he had heard the stories that David was just running away, and he had tried, and he couldn't kill Saul for some reason.
But Saul
wasn't. But I think this guy was. Yeah.
Saul was an enemy to David. That's the reason why David was staying with them.
Yeah, but the thing is, he must have heard the stories. I presume that he must have. That David had not killed Saul.
Understand this, though. Understand this. Hold on. Let me.
Yeah.
In chapter 29. In chapter 29, if y'all turn to chapter 29, verse 4. All right. Now I'm gonna read this, verse 2 to verse 4. As the Lord of the Philistines were passing on by hundreds and thousands, and David and his men were passing on in the rear with Achish, the commanders of the Philistines said, "What are these Hebrews doing here?" And Achish said to the commanders of the Philistines, "Is this not David, the servant of Saul, king of Israel, who has been with me now for days and years?" Days and years. So David was around them for years. And since he deserted them, I have found no fault in him to this day. But the commanders of the Philistines were angry with him, and the commanders of the Philistines said to him, "Send the men back, that he may return to the place which you have assigned him. He should not go down with us to battle, lest in the battle he become an adversary to us. For how could this fellow reconcile himself to his Lord? Would it not be with the heads of the men here?" So they're asking the question like, yo, how can we trust David fighting with us against his own people? So obviously, David and his men were in line, as you see, to fight against Israel. In verse 29. The people in the Philistines said no. The leader said no. He can't fight with us. How is he going to fight with us against his own people unless he turned against us? That's what they're asking themselves. So this gentleman had to be around at this time when this happened.
Yeah, so you would have heard this.
Listen, verse 8, 29, verse 8. And David said to Achish, "But what have I done?" So he's trying to find out what he done. "What have I found in your servant from the day I entered to your service until now, that I may not go and fight against the enemies of my Lord the king?" So You tell me. David wanted to fight against Israel.
But what I don't get is that at this point, David had killed so many Philistines, and even in the most horrific of ways. I mean, at one point, he even cut off their foreskins or something. I don't know. I mean, some nasty stuff. There was no way that forgotten this, man. So this doesn't make sense to me. I mean, David had to be setting himself up to fight against the Philistines in the midst of their war with Israel. So I don't think he was setting himself up to, defeat Saul. He still had a heart for his people. And his people felt that, and obviously that's why lots of them followed him around, fighting and, just being warriors and stuff.
Right.
So I think David had a plan to kind of, let's go fight together. All right, my brother. In the middle of it, just turn against them and stab them in the back or something. So, I don't know.
I don't know neither, but at this particular point, that could be true. That could be possibly true. Maybe David had a plan in motion, but his plan got thrown into shambles, and David was actually going back to Ziklag to relax. He wasn't going to fight. Him and his men was going home to be with their wives. They was going to go home and relax. They wasn't going to fight while the Israel and the Amalekites and the Philistines were fighting. That's what's happening.
Right.
David only started fighting against the Amalekites when he found out that his family got captured. So that brings us back to chapter 2. 2 Samuel chapter 1.
31.
No, chapter 1 in verse 2 Samuel, where now David finds out what happens. And he's asking a question to my man who came and said, "Listen, I killed Saul for you. I brought the crown and I brought the armor for you, my man. I did it for you." He's paying homage to David. He's not worshiping, but he's showing David love. Like, yo, I did it for you, my man. And David looking at him like, "Oh, are you sure? How did Jonathan die? How did David die? I killed him."
That was a pretty dumb comment right there.
I killed him. He asked me to kill him, so I did it for him. And I brought his crown, and I brought all this stuff to you, David. Here you go. And David started going crazy. After he seen him going crazy, I'm like, my man, I'm out of here. It's all Israelites around here. I'm all by myself. I'm out of here. Am I correct? I'm out of here. It's not looking good.
Right. Yeah.
So then David calls him back and says, "Yo, my man, how could you do such a thing? How could you kill one of the Lord's anointed? You're not even supposed to answer that question. There's no right answer to that. If David asks that question, there's no right answer you can give him. Tanaka, who was right or wrong?"
Okay. Can I add another point? Yeah.
Sure.
So, as a human, God not allowed to kill people, right?
Right.
In a time of war, yes.
So, yeah. Visit God comes with us, and if God wants us to fight, and then we can, because we are all own property to God. So I don't know why.
So who's right or wrong, Tanaka?
That's why. I think it's David correct, because any kind of matter, any kind of reasons, we can't kill people without God's command. I think so. This is
even in war.
Sorry?
It was on the battlefield. It wasn't like he was in the market.
Yeah. If we have a war, it's not our war. It's our God's war.
But it was his war, even though, however you want to look at it, it was his war. He was fighting in the war against the Israelites. Listen, I'm not saying, of course we expected Israel to win. That's God's chosen. At the end of the day, though,
Yeah.
he was a Philistine. He was fighting against Israel. I mean, he was in war. In war, there is no rules. The best man
We
win.
fight to win.
Fight to win.
Right.
I mean, if you got a chance to, if you got a chance to give it to the king, you take that chance.
Correct.
And if the king asks you to take the chance, you take the chance. And then on top of that, the king is the enemy of one of your boys. He had to feel comfortable enough to come to David and say, "Look, David, my man, I brought this all for you." The thing that I want to go, Tito, I want to go back to address this though, Tito. And this is where I get the topic, my man's in them. Even though everything that, despite the fact that Saul had him on the run, Saul did his boys dirty, because all his friends, that all the people that followed David all because of the taxes and everything that Saul implemented. So they followed David. They joined David. All right? So throughout all this, and yet and still, they had a love for Israel to the point where they cried when they found out that they passed away. You know? And he went to war.
Maybe it was a ritual.
And so therefore, it was like, listen, you got to take care of this. And David called one of his mans over and said, yo, handle that for me. And I wish I could have been there to see my man's face. With the dumbest look ever. Like, what do you mean? That was the longest what do you mean in history. What do you mean? I just did that. I just did everything that for you, David. I did all this for you. And you gonna kill me? All because of your love for the people that hated you?
But maybe David was going like, man, I don't know you. I don't know why you did this.
Listen, this dude had to know David, man. If he coming to pay homage to David, he had to know David. If he talking this way to David, he had to know who he was. So the question is, who David loyalty really was to? Was David cool with them, like you said? Was David cool with this dude? Or was David really like, yo, I'm an Israelite at the end of the day, and you did my man dirty, so I gotta see you. Listen, he said the Lord's anointed. So when he said the Lord's anointed, let me ask you this question to everybody. Yeah. He said the Lord's anointed. If Saul was already dead and it was another man laying there and he said, I killed him because he asked me to kill him. And when I killed him, I seen Saul laying there, so I took the jewels, the crown, and the armlet. Would David would have been still mad? Would this guy still would have died? Or is it because he killed Saul? Because I'm taking David's anger at the fact that my man killed Saul, not because he was in the war fighting against Israel. So my question is, if it would have been just one of the regular dudes, and he would have been there, or if let's say he just would have came back and said, "Yo, I seen Saul, he died," would David still would have tried to kill him? Because this dude felt comfortable enough. This dude felt comfortable enough to tell David everything. Mind you, David been with these guys for years.
You know, it's Aaron. Can I say something?
Sure.
It's really the impact of hearing in face to face with a person that would tell you, "I killed this person. I killed King Saul. It's really, you know, let's put ourselves in that situation. If you are confronted by a person telling you, "I killed your mom" or "I killed your wife," you would
This
really
is somebody.
be
All right, so
out of your mind.
let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. I want you to answer this honestly. All right, Grace, I'm asking you particularly. I want you to answer this honestly. If somebody would come up to you and say, "Hey, I just killed your husband,"
Husband of all, your child, not my husband. Joke. Okay, go ahead, Aaron. Sorry.
what would you say?
Hallelujah. Sorry. I'm just kidding because you know the story. Granting me and my husband are okay, everything is all good with us. Of course, I could kill him as well. I might kill him too. How could you do that? That's my husband. I love.
Yeah, but even though you and your husband are on, I'm talking about you and your husband at this present state today. Because you got to remember, David didn't get along with Saul.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, that's a good question. A good connection. I will still mourn, of course, because whatever happens, he's still the father of my children, and the fact that among the men who courted me, it was him that I've chosen to have everything, to give my all to him. So of course I will feel sad, but not to the point of killing the person also. Maybe, but if the situation is really different, if you are all okay, everything's all good, maybe I could kill that man too.
Everything wasn't all good though, because Saul, David wasn't cool with Saul like that. Right? Am I right, Danaka?
Right.
Yes.
Is Lovely back in? Is Lovely still going?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just listening.
Lovely, what you think, Lovely?
Actually, I can't say anything because this story is so hard for me.
What's hard about it? Tell me why it's hard.
I can't relate. I can't understand.
You can't understand?
Yeah.
All right. I would advise you ladies to maybe go back and read some of the chapters for yourselves to get a clear understanding of what's going on, and then answer the questions there. And ask yourself, is David right or David wrong for killing this young man who came up to David and said, "Hey, I killed Saul for you and I brought all the jewels." And see,
I think,
go ahead.
I think, Aaron, David is right. David was right, considering that Saul was an appointed of God, a leader, a good leader of his people. So though there was some differences between Saul and David, it also shows here what is the character of David as a person. Okay, he felt the pain, the sorrow of losing Saul. Though if we would think about it, he would be next in throne, but he never put that in his mind. What he emphasized here, what he showed is the compassion and the love that he has for Saul on the loss of his king.
Right, I agree.
I still believe David is correct here. It is rightful to just kill that news, the person who brought the news to him about the death of Saul. That's my point of view.
All right, Mary, what do you think, Mary?
Grace is correct because David is respect with King Saul, so definitely he gets mad to the people who deliver the news and get comfortable for saying that this king, I killed this king. So definitely I really agree with Grace's opinion.
All right, Tito, what about you, Tito?
I'm looking at it from a different angle now. Remember that Jonathan was David's best friend,
right?
And they even have a vow and an oath with each other or something where they would die for each other.
But he didn't kill Jonathan. He killed Saul, though. He didn't kill Jonathan. He killed Saul.
I know. But think about it this way. I mean, what would you do if your best friend's dad got killed? What would you do to the guy who did it?
This is his wife's father.
Yeah, but his wife at this point left him or something.
Nah, the reason why his wife helped him escape.
Yeah, but she got married to some other guy.
Not because she wanted to. Because David left, and Saul made her remarry somebody else. If you read on, David's going to go back and get her.
Yeah, and that guy's going. But that's another story. You probably pursue that in a different show.
Definitely in a different story.
David's so colorful and complicated.
Yep, it's another complicated story for another complicated night.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So my bottom line here is that David was not wrong. I mean, he was in his right to act emotionally or otherwise. And this guy was just plain stupid. I mean, he should have gotten away a long time ago. He did not need to die. If he wasn't there, I don't think David would have confronted him and said, where's that guy? Where's that guy who killed Saul? You need to find him and kill him. Do you think it would have gone to that extent? I don't think so.
I don't know. Danaka, what do you think? Danaka, what's your overall synopsis of this as we get ready to end the show?
Yep, I agree with Grace and your idea, but yeah, really David is correct, and I give another special point because I agree with this totally because he escaped from war, and that Amalek man, he is not fight with enemies, he just escaped from war. So really, that thing is bad because he's not fight against two enemies. He just escaped getting killed. So.
Right. All right. Any last words, Lovely? As we end the show, any last words?
Okay, for me, based my opinion only doesn't understand clearly, but for me that guy is just bad because he killed someone he didn't know, right?
Technically, yeah.
He just killed someone because he told so. So that guy.
Yeah, but it was in war, though. In war, you're going to kill somebody you don't know. There's a battlefield.
But okay, for me only, that guy's the best.
All right, Grace. What about you, Grace? Final words.
All right, so here we're talking about powerful people, David. So God graciously pours out His favor on us because of what Christ has done. So God does not regard personal greatness as something that we should be using selfishly. So we should always try to put God in the center of our life and do things for God's greater honor and glory.
All right. What about you, Mary? Any last words?
Okay. So, for the topic that we are conversation right now, I learned a lot, especially on David, because killing people, especially when you respect someone, it's really hard to accept that if you know or if you have a news that these people is killed, so definitely you will going to sad or cry. So being part of this topic, so as a David says that it's really hard to accept the fact, even though that you will be a next king. So as a human, it's a part of being, you need to be sad if the people, you know, that he's dying, he's died, that unexpectedly.
Right. And Tito, what about you? Any last words?
It's an interesting story,
Right.
but in my mind, I just got to be ready to back up, and nurture relationships that should be nurtured. I should be ready to make hard decisions. If I was David, I'd still kill that guy. Sorry, that's my opinion. Yeah. So, but all in all, this kind of opens up a lot of interest in what happened back then. I think I'm going to read the backstory of this and just get a better insight, and hopefully we'll revisit it.
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
Hopefully. I want to talk about David's wife, man. I need to understand that whole saga. I hear from the times I remember, it was crazy. It was a crazy story.
All right, we'll probably get into some stories about that. As you know, in our last conversation, David married Abigail. He also married the other lady, Ahanon, while he was still married to Michelle, who was David's wife that Saul made her marry somebody else. So it's not like David didn't have wives. He went to war with the Amalekites. He went to war with the Amalekites over Abigail and Ahanon. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But with that being said, my last words is this. My word of advice is this. On two parts. First part, for the guy who is the Amalekite, you have to use street smarts is always good to have. You know? You have to be careful of what you say around the people. You never know who you are around. Mm-hmm. And you never know what you can say to offend people. Even when you're doing good, you have to, there's power in the tongue. You have to watch what you say. Correct. You never know when you're going to offend someone. On the flip side, we see loyalty by David to his enemy who was his friend. David at one point in time loved Saul and his best friend Jonathan, and he was loyal to them to the point where when he found out, not only was he loyal to them, he was loyal to God. He was loyal to God because he recognized that Saul was God's appointed person, God's anointed person. And David did not want to ever kill one of God's anointed. And because of the respect for Saul being the first king and his respect to the crown of him being God's anointed, David, I believe, killed him because that God killed one of God's anointed. And that was something David respected. And therefore, because of that, my man had to go. And I believe David's loyalty was the reason why my man had to go. So it shows you how you still have to be loyal in times of trouble, needs, and goes back to our start-off question. Even when people do you wrong and you hold them down, there can be some good that come out of it. With that being said, anybody want to give any shout-outs? No shout-outs.
Yeah, ladies first.
Ladies first.
You first.
Any shout-outs, ladies? Anybody want to give a shout-out to anybody that you know, friends, family, somebody who's listening to the show? Or going to listen, give them a shout out.
My shout out would be the topic is getting interesting every
episode.
Every time we go online. Yeah, every episode. That's the correct term. It's getting interesting, and though it's brain cracking, but that's good. We are able to use our brains for 2 hours. Stay tuned to our show so that you will know everything about the Bible, many interesting stories, and you would know different views from people from different countries. So Kenya, from the Philippines, from Sri Lanka, and the USA.
All right.
I'll be all.
Anybody else? Did not want to give any last words? Yes.
Yeah. As a pastor, I haven't like this much deep idea about this verse. So thank you, preacher. It's great, really.
Yes. Thank
this discussion is very, this discussion is very good and very important to me. So I have learned so much bigger things to add. So thank you to Mr. Preacher Aaron and Mary, Grace, and Titu and Lovely, and also.
I appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, man. And Lovely too. Don't forget Lovely.
Okay.
All right, Lovely. Any last words?
Okay, I do apologize that not talking that much for this show. I'm really speechless. I don't know what to say. Because it's hard for me to understand this topic. Very interesting. But yeah, people in the world will just keep tuning in, listen to our show, and it's more interesting.
Good.
Getting interesting.
Yeah. Good. Tito, any last words, Tito? Shout outs to anybody?
Yeah. I'd like to holler at my girl. She is in college. She's probably listening, or will listen later. She's at Strathmore University, somewhere in Nairobi. I'd also like to holler at my family there in Kijabi, and just say thank you for all the support. Also, thank the panel. It's great to meet you guys. This is a great thing. I was just telling myself, I'm talking to people around the world. I mean, Sri Lanka, Philippines, USA. That's basically most of the world, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, Asia takes up the biggest chunk anywhere. So
that's awesome, man.
So I'm just great. Yeah, I'm grateful to meet y'all, and I hope this will keep going.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys for calling in. We're gonna sign out. C1music.fm, the familiar. Get at your boy, man. We in here. C1music.fm, the familiar. We're gonna close it out again with Erica Combo. Live out loud. You heard it first. C1music.fm, the familiar. Get at your boy.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1music.fm, the familiar.
For the virtuous women, living their lives the way God has intended, keeping their bodies on lock for marriage and carrots. Gotta have a ring before you have it. I'm repping for my virtuous ladies, waking up in the morning praying daily. You let your light shine when it's shady. In love, you keep your cool no matter what the day brings. It's time to step about the closet. Rise up strong like an army. Live loud, let your voice be heard. Jesus is the truth, spread the word. I'ma say it again. It's time to step up out the closet. Rise up strong like an army. Live loud, let your voice be heard. Jesus is the truth, spread the word. Let me hear you say. cover. Providing for their kids and for their wives, they are covered. I'm seeing all the unashamed men who ain't afraid to tell the world they're born again. Letting their lives show that God lives within. Not trying to hide the light so that you can make it in. It's time to step up out the closet. Rise up strong like an army. Live loud, let your voice be heard. Jesus is the truth, spread the word. I'ma say it again. It's time to step up out the closet. Rise up strong like an army. Live loud, let your voice be heard. Jesus is the truth, spread the word. Let me hear you say, I'm looking for virtuous living. It's time to rise for a better times we live in. I'm not afraid, you're not afraid. We ain't afraid to live out loud. I'm looking for virtuous living. It's time to rise for a better times we live in. Won't be quiet, won't stay silent. Let's get violent. Live out loud. Ain't living in a closet no more. Gotta live Christ out loud. Call the popo, lock me up. But it won't stop people look out from speaking the truth in love. People gotta get set free, even if it gotta come through the Father speaking in me. He's anointed me, appointed me. I can't be scared, love lives in me. So it's time for everybody to rise up. Understand that Jesus is wiser. Living life in Him and through Him. Yup, it's so much better, 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 better. With Jesus, you can do all things, no matter what this life may bring. Be the light, ain't nothing in the world more better, 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 better. I'm looking for virtuous living. It's time to rise for a better times we live in. I'm not afraid, you're not afraid. We ain't afraid to live out loud. I'm looking for virtuous living. It's time to rise for a better times we live in. Won't be quiet, won't stay silent. Let's get violent. Live out loud.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm. Unfamiliar.